Good evening. At least for me, it's good evening. Um, since I haven't done a video about the effects of Brexit, I thought I should do one today. Now, I'm doing this video because I saw in another channel, of which I was he was talking about the British farmers and their woes. And I think people need to keep nailing down certain things. And we have to be clear about it. And I'm not just talking about the British. We, the Europeans, we in the EU, we need to keep nailing this point because I think there is a lot of attempts in the UK, and not just in the UK, to normalize this entire situation. Because in the UK they know they cannot reverse it, at least not in the way some believe it, like the rejoiners or whatever. Not gonna. They have seen it's not going to work. They see that even with this uh, American, I don't even know how to call it. This some people have called him Nero, but I think he's more of a Caligula. Okay, because there are things that are too complex to be solved in a small scale of time. Now, allow me to explain. Once again, the farmers are complaining that they have no manpower to pick up the crops, they have to let crops to go to spoil, that fields are being left unsold with no planting, no plantation, enough of nothing, because it is better for the farmer to leave it like that and perhaps sell it. Okay, first of all, when they speak of red tape, that does not exist. What exists is a border, and no one in the UK seems to be able to simply say it. And when I say no one in the UK, a minute, please. And when I say no one in the UK, what I mean is no politician, no farmer, no person speaking about it is able to simply understand this fact. Inside the EU, there are borders, but we have a free movement, both of goods and of people. And the UK is outside of that. And it won't return easily to that situation. And you keep on calling Brexit something that it is not. I will explain. Brexit is pure and simply this. You said no to this freedom of movement, of trading, and you rose up your border. So now it's the same for the UK. The only difference is that the UK is an island. But if the UK was physically connected to the continent, and it is, via the channel tunnel. But if it was connected to the mainland, it would be a road, and then you had decided that you want to put sorry to put a post, guard post, a customs post, and now everything that goes in and goes out has to pass through that point. I know this, and I made a video about it, about the TCA, and I talked a little bit about how the TCA came to be, why it was decided in this way. And the UK did not accept proposals that were made and that now no one will make them again. Or, for example, to be able to be under the rules of origin in the EU, but of course, if the UK was not a member, it would not have absolutely no say on it. Because if the UK is not in the club, if the UK does not pay, let's call it its membership, if the UK simply left the EU, how can you expect to be in the decision of things that the EU decides? Sorry for being a bit a bit unclear. What legitimacy does the UK have to decide in behalf, or more more correct, with us, if the UK is not a part of the club? And you would call obeying our rules to negotiate in our territory, let's call it like that. It's not this, it's not territory, but you would call that to be punished. And right now you keep on saying the same thing, only in a different way. So those farmers in the UK that have soft fruit that needs to be picked by hand, you know, and we here down south we know that because we have to hire pickers to pick up fruit, to pick up tomatoes, to pick up lettuce, you know, even even the olives that give an excellent olive oil. They started to use machines and then they decided they could not because the machines killed the trees. Go figure. So we know. So if Portuguese farmers, if Spanish farmers, if French farmers, whatever, if they know this, if they know we must have hands to work in the UK, they also know. And before they started to plant their crops. So when they say I had to dump, I don't know, X amount of tons of blueberries or whatever, or fruit. Number one, if you were unable to pick them and you left them to rot in the field, then before you planted them, you as a farmer, you had to know if you had enough manpower to pick up that fruit. So if you went ahead and planted anyway, your fault. You're a bad businessman. If you picked up that fruit knowing it would be rotten, or before it was able to be used to export to the EU, or if it did not follow the rules and it could not be exported into the EU, it's your fault. You're a bad businessman. So what I'm trying here to say to any British person that is listening to me is this: when the farmers start with this entire talk, all you have to ask them is this: well, you knew things are like this. Why did you plant if you knew you wouldn't have enough hands to pick it up? Hmm? Why did you plant this crop in this way and destine it to be exported into the EU if you knew it did not follow the rules of origin or whatever? It was not in conditions enough to be exported to the EU. So why did you decided to do that? Because these are important questions. Because people get dragged in by emotions. And this is the type of answers that Mr. Starmer gets from the EU. You know? Because if they don't tell you in the UK what the negotiations were, how are they going, because there are still permanent negotiations going on. Make no mistake about it. It's like this. They pick up the TCA. They see, is this working? Are you complying? Are we complying? Does anyone have any complaint about it? And then, sorry, this is my little cat. Okay, she keeps on, does not like closed doors. And these are very simple things, you know. And I I cannot understand why are these people even listened to. Okay, stop it. So what I would want to ask any of you is, next time the farmer complains about it, you ask them, what kind of businessman are you? You don't plan ahead? You don't take care of your business? And now you want me to give you money for it? Oh, because we need to be self sufficient in food, and we need this and we need that. All right, very well. Then why do you still support Nigel Farage? It's a good question. It's a good question. Why? Because he smiles a lot and promises a lot. Well, he promised you the so-called sunlit uplands, the unicorn dreams and all of that. How is that going? No one has taken responsibility for their actions in the UK. Let me rephrase this. A minority has accepted it and has talked about it. And an even smaller minority has actually done something about it. But the rest, they seem happy. They were following him around with that inheritance tax bullshit that only affected big farms and people with enough money to pay the damn tax, enough land to pay the damn tax. It did not affect uh, Joe Small farmer planting some veggies and some fruits to bring to market. No. And besides that, why shouldn't you pay inheritance tax? Why shouldn't you pay a tax on your land, on your business? Why? Oh, this way we can do business. Then you don't do business. Because to have a business, because to have a business, You need to know how to handle it. Business is by nature a business. The objective is profit, is to endure, is to maintain that business, is to employ people, is to pay them. And then you say, well, but in the EU they are subsidized. Yes, they are, because we invest in farmers. Ask ourselves, why isn't your government doing the same? You don't ask many questions now, do you? You just keep following the narrative that fits you, that comforts you. That is not life. Life is harsh. You should have known it. Me, well, unfortunately or fortunately, I have known that for a long, long time. Good evening and goodbye.